Gregory Vale had walked down that alley 100 times, but never like this. Never while pushing a wheelchair beside his polished shoes. Never with the silence feeling so heavy it almost choked him. His 8-year-old daughter Naomi sat quietly. A blue shawl covered her still legs. Her golden hair fell over her cheeks as she stared at the sidewalk, like she had stopped hoping. But Gregory hadn't given up. Not yet. Still, in his world, hope had become a joke. Every doctor, therapist, and so-called miracle healer had taken his money and given him the same answer. Spinal injury. Permanent. They all said the same thing softly. She might live a long life, but she'll never walk again. Money could bend a lot of things, but not damage nerves. That's when he heard the voice. "Uncle," came a whisper from the alley corner. "I can make your daughter walk again." Gregory stopped, his hand still on Naomi's wheelchair. He turned, expecting a scammer, but it was just a little boy, no older than Naomi. Dark skin, no shoes, a coat too big for him. One of his eyes looked hurt, his hands were dirty, but his voice didn't shake. "What did you say?" Gregory asked. "I said I can help your daughter," the boy repeated. Gregory frowned. "Is this a prank? Who sent you?" "No one," said the boy. "My name's Eli. I live behind the train station. I saw you pushing her here yesterday. I waited because I knew you'd come again." "You've been watching us?" "Yes, but not in a weird way. Lots of people walk here, but she looked different, like her legs forgot how to run." Naomi moved slightly. No one had spoken that kindly about her in weeks. Gregory said firmly, "I've taken her to the best hospitals in the world. Surgeons, neurologists, even energy healers. You can't do anything." "But you haven't taken her to my grandmother," Eli replied. "She helped me when no one else could." "You're 8. I turn 9 next month." Gregory nearly laughed, but Eli stepped closer. "She won't take money. Just come with an open heart. She doesn't ask people to believe, only to try." Naomi looked up at her dad. "Please, can we go?" Gregory hesitated. He wanted to say no, but then he remembered her crying last week, whispering, "I hate being this way." He knelt beside her. "We leave the moment anything feels wrong. Got it?" Naomi nodded. Eli smiled and began walking. They followed. They took a path behind the city. Weeds everywhere, broken fences, graffiti. Every bump made Naomi wince. Twice Gregory almost turned back, but Eli kept looking back with a calmness that didn't fit his age. At the edge of a wooded trail, Eli stopped. "Through here," he said. Gregory sighed. "If anything happens to my daughter..." "She'll be fine," Eli said. "Better than fine." They came to a small hut made of moss and wood. It looked like something out of a fairy tale. An old woman stepped onto the porch, long silver hair braided with thread and bark, eyes as green and timeless as the forest. She looked at Eli. "I wondered when you'd bring them." "He didn't believe it," Eli said. "But she did." Naomi smiled slightly. The woman knelt before her. "Child, may I touch your knees?" Naomi looked at her father. He nodded. The woman placed her hands gently on Naomi's legs. She closed her eyes and began to hum, a soft sound like wind in the trees. Naomi flinched. "I felt something," she whispered. Gregory stepped closer. "Felt what?" "A tingle, on my toes." The woman opened her eyes. "Her spine isn't dead, just frozen, stuck in sadness. The heart has more power over the body than the brain." "That's not medical science," Gregory muttered. "No," she said, "but science doesn't hold her when she cries at night." Eli asked, "Can she try to stand?" The woman looked at Naomi. "Only if you want to." Naomi nodded. The woman helped her up and rolled the wheelchair back. Naomi's legs trembled. Gregory moved, but the woman raised her hand. Naomi shifted her right foot. Then she left. She stood, wobbly, like a newborn deer. But she stood. Gregory dropped to his knees. "Naomi." Naomi's eyes filled with tears. "Daddy, I'm standing." Gregory crawled toward her, heart pounding. He wrapped her in his arms, afraid she'd fall or vanish. Eli stood back silently. Gregory turned to him, stunned. "Who are you?" Eli shrugged. "Just a boy who believed someone could be whole again." Gregory reached into his pocket. "I'll give you anything." "Name your price." Eli shook his head. I don't need money. I just needed someone to listen. Naomi took 3 more steps forward, toward her dad, toward her lost world, as sunlight broke through the clouds. She stumbled. Gregory reached out, caught her gently. His voice cracked. I've got you. I've got you. Naomi sobbed in his arms. Daddy, I could feel my legs. You did, sweetheart, he said. You did. Behind them, the old woman stood quietly. No cheers, no show, just peace. Eli crouched nearby. Gregory turned to him. How did you know? How did you do this? Eli looked at the ground. I didn't. I just remembered. Remember what? My grandmother. She wasn't a doctor, but she understood people. She used to say, not all pain is in the bones. Some hide in silence. Some escapes x-rays. Gregory couldn't speak. Eli continued. I had a twisted foot as a baby. Kids laughed. My mom left when I was 4. All I had was grandma. One day she touched my foot and said something in a language I didn't know. She told me to stand up, and I did. I never fell again. Naomi blinked. She healed you. She reminded me I wasn't broken, Eli said. Gregory nodded slowly. Where is she now? Eli's eyes dropped. Gone. A year ago. They said she was fake. Said I made it up. So I ran. I stayed on the streets. And I help people now. Only the ones who really ask. He wiped his nose. I don't always succeed, but sometimes I do. Gregory looked at the old woman. Who are you? She smiled. Just someone who listens. Eli does the rest. This kind of healing, people forget it exists. Sometimes you don't need surgery, just someone who stays. Gregory turned to Naomi. She was gripping the back of the wheelchair, testing her balance. Her hands shook, but her eyes were fierce. He said to Eli, come with us. I'll give you a home, a future, everything you need. But Eli shook his head. This is my place, out in the alleys, in the quiet corners. That's where the pain lives. That's where I'm needed. Gregory paused. What if I want to help you? You already did, Eli said. You listened. Most people don't. He pulled out a wrinkled card from his coat. Gregory said, call this number. Anytime, day or night. If you need food, shelter, school, anything. Eli studied the card, then tucked it into his coat. Naomi looked at him. Will we see you again? Eli smiled. If you ever stop believing, I'll probably be nearby. She smiled and hugged him. It had been over a year since anyone hugged Eli. He hugged her back, eyes closed. 1 week later, Naomi walked across the school stage on her own. No wheelchair, no braces. When reporters asked, what changed everything? She simply said, a boy who believed I could. That same morning, Eli sat beside a girl in another alley, a girl who hadn't spoken since her world broke. He didn't ask about her past. He didn't offer food. Instead, he just sat quietly and hummed the song his grandmother used to sing. Because healing doesn't always begin with medicine. Sometimes it begins with someone who stays,